And welcome back to last stream.
So when last we left off, we had just picked up a delicious ring. And we're now looking forward to being able to go blow some stuff up with it. So we should have an easier time with the hunts moving forward, but that does not mean that the hunts are going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll try our best. I'm going to give him Virgil's cloak. He does not need a repel ring. I'm going to give him the Citadel ring for now. He needs the ancient ring. And let's see. Does he though? Yes. For now. For now, he needs it. Later on, I can potentially get rid of it, but for now, he needs it. Now, what else can I do? We need to go take a nap, so let's do that quick. I am having a lot of difficulty getting around here. Okay, so we've got 16,000 HP on my black belt, which should be plenty to have him survive. My big survival concerns are Komonitin, and strangely enough, probably Oberon. I guess we'll see. So one of the things that I need to check when I'm facing off with this sucker here is whether he's dealing percent-based damage. Basically, whether increasing my mitigation is actually going to help me at all against this guy or not. So the first thing that we need to do is get a team player out. We then need to get... Let's see. We're going to get a plan of attack out. We're going to get... behind enemy lines. I think this thing predominantly uses physical attacks. Okay, that is clearly not a percent-based damage. So we're going to do what? So we need to use a Mystic Concealment on him. And we need to use... I think Warcry on him. Get a hamstring off if we can. We got it off. And that was like 7,000 damage on Oberon. But that was probably just a crit. We have one turn left before that becomes an issue. We're going to use a human shield. We've got the taunt up. We're going to use agility boost. I'm a little concerned about... That did not appear to do any less damage with 35% increased stats. That's very concerning to me. So he's going to use Covert Ops. So I'm wondering how... I'm actually missing quite a lot. That guy just hit himself, but hit me for like 200,000 damage. If that's a physical attack, how on earth am I supposed to deal with it? So, use a ground slam. So he does have the paralysis move that he can use. Which is fine for me. The problem is... Okay, so that's good to know. The no-resist paralysis still went off, even though I have state immunity. I was curious whether... whether I would be able to get immunity to the no-resist things from the Asmodeus ring, but that does not appear to be the case. I'm going to reload, and we're going to have to figure out... I don't know how I'm going to kill this thing. It doesn't appear to be doing percent-based damage, so that's good at least. And it doesn't seem to do that move that commonly. I did not actually save at any point during that whole process. Including after I swapped out my gear. I'm very talented. Okay, so we need to swap this out. Let me take a look, actually. What is it that I can make here? I thought that I had made that, but maybe I forgot to save after I did. So this gives me a little bit of extra agility and a significant defense boost, as well as some other stats. So that's probably the best bet for him. So he's going to have to be fine with what he's got, I think. As for him, I'm going to give him some extra defense. Do I have another Bastion Ring in there? I do. I don't need immunity to status effects for an enemy that's just going to negate that anyway. So we're going to try to just max out our physical defense. So we're going to take this stick. I don't need the Veteran's Shield. Do I want this one? Or do I want the Enduring Shield? I don't think this guy has any debuffs. So we're going to take Sailafil's Shield as well. So Ignatius' sword. So I have the two Bastion Rings in place. Those should help me a bit, but How much? Unclear. So we can go ahead and take a nap. So this guy is pretty much exclusively a physical attacker, I believe. Okay. So we're going to save this. And we're engage. Okay, so I'm actually going to use a Knuckle Breaker on the start, because that will help me in this initial build-up phase. I'm going to use a plan of attack. We're going to use behind enemy lines. We're going to miss the Knuckle Breaker, because of course we are. So Self-Immolation comes out, and it gets evaded. So he just dealt some damage to himself without actually accomplishing anything. I like that. We're going to use a self-preservation. We're going to use a human shield. We are going to use a invisibility cloak. The reason we're using invisibility cloak first is because it's guaranteed to go off. And I'd rather do the thing that is a guarantee than something that is not. Okay, so so what am I going to do now? I guess we're going to use a ground slam. Hamstring. So Black Sludge comes out on Oberon. And hopefully he doesn't have anything too important that has to happen. Use a healing steel. And it doesn't save Komanaten. That's that is a lot of damage coming out. So Komanaten currently has the magnification ring on. I think I'm going to give him the Master Ring. The Master Ring has the advantage of giving him some other benefits. It stacks very well with the other shit. So we're gonna try to do that. Get a team player off, get a plan attack off. Yes. We're going to get it behind enemy lines off. We got the Knuckle Breaker, so that's successful. Okay, we got a completely wasted turn for turn one. That's good. Now, we've got that off. We're going to get off self-preservation for 20%. And what is he going to do? He's going to use Invincible. And we're going to use Invisibility Cloak. So Self-Immolation comes out. Looks like it did pretty much exactly 10,000 damage to Oberon. So we have one more turn before we can use Team Player again. And And he's going to use a taunt. Now, the reason he's using a taunt is that I have to hope that between all these effects that I've got on this bastard and the effects that I have on myself, that it's going to be enough to drop his damage to a reasonable value. He used a body slam. That's not good. With a body slam out, we just lost him. So, unfortunately, I don't see any way that we're going to survive this, because we don't have anybody that can take the hit. So the hope here... You know, if I had actually taunted properly and not used meat shield, he probably would have survived that. Huh. Was not expecting that. Okay, we're going to restart this. And I don't know if I'll be able to get this fight under control. This fight might not be controllable, and that will be unfortunate if it's the case. Use plan of attack, peanut enemy lines. That is a lot of damage coming out. And let's see here, we can use a self-preservation on him. He's going to use a human shield. Use Invis Cloak. So, what are we going to do now? We have one more turn that he can't use an AoE or I lose. We actually have 2 more turns that he can't use an AoE or I lose. We're going to use a Invincible. Black Sludge comes out. He did not use an AoE. We're going to use another team player. Let's see. Got the hamstring, got the sapping sword. Hamstring doesn't matter that much. We're going to use... I'm going to use a healing steel. And we got a no-risk paralysis cast on Comandan before he could do the heal. So he just healed himself for 46k. And the only problem with that is that since both of those characters were CC'd, there wasn't really a lot left for me to do. If they were both CC'd and they were at full HP, that would actually have been a fine thing. But I needed... I needed their action. We're going to use the Knuckle Breaker again. We're going to use Team Player. Actually, do I want to use Knuckle Breaker? I don't think I do. I think I want to use Bloodlust right off the bat. So behind enemy lines is coming out. So team player comes out. We've gotten him in substantially better shape. He's going to use a human shield. We're going to use invisibility cloak. So Black Sludge comes off on Oberon, but Oberon doesn't need to do anything. He just taunted. So that's good-ish. So the hope here is that we get the hamstring off, and we do. Self-immolation comes out, hits for a fuck ton of damage. We're going to use a team player. We're going to hope that we land it. And we got debuffs up as best we can. We're going to go ahead and do a healing steal. Self-immolation comes out again. But that was only Oberon's first life, so he is no longer paralyzed. And we can now use plan of attack on him. We recast Human Shield with him, are we? Is that really what we want? I think he needs to cast Invincible. Okay, Invincible is now out. So Bloodlust ends this turn. We didn't really get to use it to its full benefit, unfortunately, but that's okay. We're going to Ground Slam. He is going to guard. We need him to survive one more round. There we go. That's a miss. The Ground Slam comes out, which is very good. So he's now got all of my debuffs up properly. We're going to use Team Player. We're going to have him guard again. And we're going to use... what? We do not have behind enemy lines up. Oops. So Self-immolation comes out. He hurts himself, does no damage to Oberon. And we are now in a very good position. So, what's our goal? So, we've got the ability to cast Bloodlust again, cast Juggernaut, cast Warcry. And the goal here is to purse this son of a bitch down before he gets a chance to kill me. Self-immolation comes down on Varan, which is great, because Varan doesn't usually take damage, and he actually has the ability, if I want, to just guard. So... Hamstring has 2 more rounds on it. We have Ground Slam for a couple more rounds as well. We have 1 more round before we can use Team Player. I'm going to go ahead and use a Destroy Armor. He's going to use a Human Shield. He's going to use what? He's going to use a Healing Steel. So Unnatural Remedy's coming out, which is great. That's a completely wasted turn. It heals a little bit, but not enough for him to waste a turn on it. I'm going to use a Meat Shield before I get off the other thing, so that should help me somewhat. We're going to try a Hamstring. We're hitting for 24,000, which is nice. There we go. So Oberon now has 19,000 HP. Everybody has close to 20 grand now, which is substantially better than I'm used to. So how are you doing? You have Warcry, you have Juggernaut. I think you have everything, right? You got everything you need. So he's just gonna start plowing into this guy as hard as he can. Okay, so I'm going to recast Destroy Armor. I'm going to have him cast Iron Skin. And we're going to get it behind enemy lines off before we have to, just to keep it applied. So no resist paralysis comes off on Oberon. We get the Ground Slam off. Let's see, what are you gonna do? He has 2 turns of Bloodlust. How are you for Destroy Armor? So I don't think this guy's gonna survive through another Destroy Armor. I'm gonna cast a Sentinel. Hamstring again. Black Sludge comes out on fucking Sordrell. That's very bad. Then cast this Citadel. Sorry, Sentinel. He's gonna use Covert Ops. Wait, I can cast Loosen. Okay, we're fine. Okay, Loosen doesn't work. Fuck me. Okay, so Oberon is out. We're going to use a heal. We're going to have him use what? Presumably a human shield. Reapplying Hamstring. Team players coming out. We're all fine. No problems here. Reapply this thing, whatever it is, and we're going to reapply. I'm going to reapply Invincible, actually. We're going to use Behind Enemy Lines. Black Sludge comes out on Oberon. We do not give a shit. Okay. Juggernaut's coming out. Are you kidding me? God damn it, he's in the back row and he's still getting hit by this. Okay, so... this is very unpleasant. Because I'm now stuck in a position where I keep having to wait for this effect to wear off. While my stats, or my mana just slips through my fingers. I missed the ground slam. So we are going to use the human shield. We are going to use the team player comes out. Unfortunately, we still do not have our monk. Ground slam comes out. He's going to use Invincible. Monk is back. Okay. Use a war cry. That wasn't quite enough, but we should be able to kill it on this turn. It's a good thing because I no longer have the capacity to heal. There we go. Got it. So, we got that guy's skull. That is done. So where are we? Southern Continent still. Okay, so we're going to come down here and say howdy. See what we can get out of this. Khan's hat and helm, which does what? So Khan's hat is defense and magic defense. Khan's helm is a better helm than the Immortal Helm. So that's good. We're going to give the Khan's Helm to him. He is the one taunting, after all. Okay, he needs to give himself a much better mana regen. So, anytime that I'm dealing with something that has significant magic damage as opposed to physical, I'll be able to regen much better without actually losing anything. Okay, so that's done. So who do we need to fight off next? Okay, I think that's... No, here we go. So we have the Cerberus here, and the Cerberus is going to be a nasty customer. So, as before, I think it's in my best interest to open up with that. We're going to use a team player off the bat. We are going to use a plan of attack, and we are going to use behind enemy lines. So we've got the attack power reduced. We've got this out. We've got plan of attack out. And that is a lot of goddamn damage. Okay, so... So he's going to taunt. Here's an invisibility cloak just to guarantee the effect goes off. Okay, so human shield is off. We can now use invincible. And we're going to need to use a hamstring. Okay. So, this isn't going to be too tough a boss. Once we get him under control, he'll stay under control the whole fight. He does 3 hits per round, which means that at the beginning of the fight, he's going to be doing a shit ton of damage. But the longer the fight goes on, the less damage he's going to do, because once we get our buffs and debuffs up, he's just going to be a cakewalk. So, because he was not hitting hard there. So, let's see. I should have actually thought to do certain things there. It's okay, though. And unfortunately, we didn't survive through round 1. Okay, we're going to use Plan of Attack and Human Shield now. Use an Invisibility Cloak. Nope. Nope. Yeah, this guy is... It's going to be several attempts before I get through his first initial burst. Once I get through the first bit, I think he should be relatively simple. But the other thing that I need to do... is these two need to have clotting rings equipped. Actually, they don't necessarily. What would that be? There's armor. The only thing that he needs to be immune to is bleed. So, there we go. So he's now immune to bleed. We don't need to equip this on him. So we can equip this accuracy ring. He actually doesn't need the sapping sword either, but that's fine. So he does need the clotting ring. He does not need the merc staff, necessarily. So, I don't really have... Ooh. What I could do... So first of all, we want to get something on him that's going to give... So tempting. It's so tempting to give him the Bastion Ring. Because the multi-hit nature of this boss... I actually am going to give him the Bastion Ring. It will make it harder to survive that initial burst, but it really will make the rest of the fight trivial. So we're going to get this Knuckle Breaker off if we can. We're going to get a team player. He's going to use a human shield, and we're going to get behind enemy lines. The question is, can he survive the initial burst? No. No. But with team player coming out, maybe he has a better chance. So we've got team player out. We're going to use plan of attack. We're going to use a human shield, and we're going to use an invisibility cloak. And maybe this will allow us to survive. If he hadn't crit there, he actually would have survived. The problem is, and I have something that gives immunity to crits. I need to figure out what that is. I have some item that gives crit immunity, so let's equip it. The problem is that crit immunity isn't great on him because he's not going to be potentially taking crits for very long. So this has slightly higher armor on him. Sailful's armor has even more. So let's give that. So the mercenary shoes actually give a pretty big bonus. We do not need this at all. So we could equip instead the Bastion Sword. So that gives me 1481 defense at the start. It's not going to stop him from getting one shot on turn 1, but it might be enough to get him through turn 2. So I missed with Knuckle Breaker, so this is going to be a failed attempt, almost guaranteed. Okay, so so he can't use another Knuckle Breaker for a little bit, which is fine. He's going to use a plan of attack. He's going to use human shield. He has already used that. He's going to use an invisibility cloak. Oh, he's alive. Oh my god, he's actually still alive. So that's pretty crazy. Unfortunately, there's no way that he's going to survive to get another effect off. Did I cast anything? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get the Knuckle Breaker off, so I'm pretty sure I'm boned here. I'm going to try casting Invincible. We're going to cast Hamstring. I don't see what difference it's going to make. And that's a nothing. Okay. The other thing is that I didn't give myself the immunity to crits, which is kind of important. Because that thing just crit Commoditon for 14,000 damage. Critical hits matter quite a lot. So what was it that gives me immunity to crits? So this drops defense by 50, but makes you immune to crits. But also makes you susceptible to bleed. Decisions. So do I want... Can increase his max HP by a little bit. You know, does he even have any AoEs? I don't think he has any AoEs. So we're gonna do the like super ballsy, completely dumb thing, which is give him a Juggernaut ring, because that makes sense. We're gonna give him, instead of this, we're gonna give him a giant ring. This is such a bad idea. He's got 5,000 max HP right now. Dump as much healing as we can into him. We're gonna save the game. There's no way that this guy is gonna survive the entire fight, but that's fine. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so we've got Knuckle Breaker coming out. We're gonna cast Team Player. He is going to now use Human Shield, the same as before. We're gonna use it behind enemy lines. And that's a 50,000 damage hit off the bat, not too shabby. So Vigorous Vicious Slice comes out and misses completely. Wow, I really wish that that had happened before. Let's see. Okay, so he's now got 8,000 HP. And what are we going to cast now? We're going to cast Plan of Attack. He's going to cast Meat Shield. He's going to cast Invisibility Cloak. Plan of Attack is now out. Meat Shield is now out. Okay, now we need to cast a Mystic Concealment on him. He needs to use a Ground Slam. And he needs to Hamstring. So Mystic Concealment is out on Sardrell. And I actually just realized that I have the capacity, if I want, to really make it hard for this asshole to kill him. So we're going to use a Team Player. And we're going to use... We don't need to use Taunt again yet. We're going to go ahead and Warcry. Why would we do that when we need Iron Skins up? And we're going to... He does not have Mana Regen. Holy shit, I need to be fucking careful. We're not going to do that. We're going to cast Mana Surge. And we now have a lot of these things up, but not all of them. So... He's going to go ahead and steal. So Vicious Slice comes out and does nothing. Okay, so we also need to have Komanaton hit himself up with Self-Preservation. And he needs to use another Taunt. So we don't quite... He should actually use Covert Ops as well, now that I think about it. And we're going to use a Mana Sacrifice. No. I'm going to cast a Juggernaut. He is going to use Iron Skin. And we're going to use it behind enemy lines. Okay, so now the boss is pretty much guaranteed to always target one of the two people in the center, which is good. I'm going to use a Team Player. Use a Warcry. We're going to use what? Hamstring still has 3 turns on it. We're going to heal. Okay, so Got Juggernaut off. We're going to use a Ground Slam now. And we're going to use a Destroy Armor. He is going to use a Hamstring just to keep this effect applied. Oh, he does have an AoE. I forgot about that 250 cuts. Whoops. So he has an AoE, and I need to make sure that I remember that. We're going to use a Mana Sacrifice. And he's going to use what? He needs to taunt again. Wow. So the boss is now hitting for basically negative damage. We're doing... We've already got Destroy Armor, we have Ground Slam. So we've got everything set up the way we want it. So we're going to use a Bloodlust, Juggernaut, Warcry, and always be reapplying Hamstring. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that we have all of our buffs and our debuffs on this guy now. Destroy Armor is how long now? 3 more turns. I'm going to go ahead and use Team Player because I'm concerned about Kamanaton himself. And let's see here. Use a Destroy Armor. We're getting 270,000. We're not getting 270,000. We're getting 27,000 damage crits right now. That is some serious DPS going out. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do a Ground Slam. Just gonna guard. No, it's not. Cast a Defender on Sordrell. There we go. We're all set. So he still has 2 turns on Bloodlust. Him use Sentinel. He needs to retaunt. Okay, so the AoE did come out. And that's going to deal a little bit of damage to Sordrell every turn, but it's honestly not a meaningful amount of damage. We're going to use a Team Player. He's already used the taunt. We're going to use Warcry again. Slice. Actually didn't need to use that Team Player, and now I'm annoyed with myself. Because we could have been applying a Citadel. He's gonna guard. He's gonna recast behind enemy lines. There we go. Done. So, Cerberus is down, we get the Hellhound Fang, we can save the game, and we can go back over here. And he gives us Khan's Dagger and Axe, both of which are probably trash, but we'll take a look. Okay, it inflicts all status effects except Zombie, Jinx, and Disease, which It's not terrible. It would be nice if it inflicted instant death. Depending on how that applies the effects, it might actually be really good. Because that should include... That should include stone. It should include... It probably doesn't include stone. But it should include bleed. It should include poison, dark, confuse. I mean, that's a lot of status effects to apply, particularly because I can put it out at the start of the fight. So that actually could potentially be a pretty big deal for me. Because I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to apply it in an AoE. Okay, so next we can continue on to whoever's next. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do that same strat again, because the next thing that we're fighting is definitely going to be AoEing me. Let's see here. Because I think the next thing... Okay, this thing... What were you doing that I found so difficult before? Hey, Mole. We're going to unequip this. First of all, I'm doing pretty good so far. Just killed 2 of the hunts, so I should be able to make some good progress. Let's see. So we're gonna give him a Citadel ring. And he doesn't need a bleed effect remover. We need Citadel. Okay, so we're also going to give him... Okay, he can go ahead and take Ignatius' sword back. He's going to equip the obstructing staff. I think he needs this. I don't remember whether I only have to worry about magic or if physical is also a relevant component of this. So we're going to leave this the way that it is for now. As for him, though, we cannot have this giant ring on him. Instead, he's going to have... I guess he's going to have the Master Ring, because giving him this gives him a little bit of a bonus to his HP, but not a lot. The Master Ring gives him a bonus to all of his stats. Congrats, Mole. We're going to use the Giant Ring on him, I guess. Not a huge fan of the Giant Ring for him, but honestly, I should have as much defense as possible on him. So we're now going to fight this Yawning Void thing, and hopefully we can take it out. So team player first. Use plan of attack, because I think this is going to be using AoEs predominantly, and I should not have done that because this thing uses nukes. I'm an idiot. So if it nukes on the first turn, I'm probably going to blow up, and that is a yes. So that hurt like hell. And we're going to use Citadel this round, I think. So he's just going to use Invincible this round. And let's see here. You're going to use what? Hamstring. Okay, Hamstring comes out, he uses Obliteration. And the Obliteration is not fun, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to use that on him. He's going to use a Human Shield, And we've already used behind enemy lines. We're going to go ahead and use his cloak. And the hope is that we can survive whatever he does next. And that is a problem, because he's going to die to the Soul Leech effect. But, while he did die to the Soul Leech effect, he only took 1 damage from the actual attack, so that's good. The problem is that Soul Leech effect does so much damage that I might not be able to... I might not be able to survive just the Soul Leech effect on its own. That might, in itself, be too much for me to handle. Getting off a hamstring. We're failing at the hamstring. I have an infinite number of hobbies. Does reading count? Let's see. What other nonsense do I do? Let's see. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now. In terms of hobbies other than reading, writing, I love doing math. I don't know. I don't really, I guess it kind of depends on your definition of hobby. I do a lot of random stuff, but I don't know that I'd call most of it hobbies. I don't know that it meets that particular criteria. Let's see here. We're going to use Invincible. And we've gotten the hamstring off. We've gotten the nothing else off. So we're going to use Invisibility Cloak. I tend to think of hobbies as things that are, like, actually active. Like, something where you're, like, actively doing something, not sort of just passively. Because, like, if you're just, like, reading a book or if you're watching television or something like that, that's just something that is, like, a pure entertainment activity as opposed to a, like, a thing that you're investing time and energy into. I don't know. It's mostly semantics. But that's just the way that I think of the word hobby. But no, most of my time is spent doing math, coming up with plots, or coming up with other types of plots. There's a lot of plotting that goes on. Let's see. Unfortunately, this guy... is in for a rough time with that pseudo-bleed. Oh, well, he's dead. He's gonna bleed to death on this turn. Oh! Oh my god, he didn't bleed to death on this turn because reasons. Okay, so the effect wore off. What the fuck are you gonna do, friend? I'm tempted to use Human Shield because if I use Human Shield, maybe I can drop his damage down low enough that I don't die. I'm actually gonna... We're gonna use the team player. He's actually gonna use... Dark Word? My hope here is that I have enough defense that he can survive with just the heal. And that is not the case. He doesn't have quite enough. Oh, but... Okay, that's good. So he actually had an extra life that he was sitting on. So that's good. We're going to cast... what? We're going to recast Citadel. And have him use Human Shield. And let's see, him hamstring and behind enemy lines are going to wear off soon. We're going to use a hamstring now. It is going to eat you, God mode. That is its purpose. Okay, I'm going to use a knuckle breaker. I have used this thing already, right? Yeah, okay. So we're going to use a knuckle breaker. It should hopefully hit. The other thing we're going to do is cast... Did we already get Ground Slam on him? We did not, so... Is that what I want to cast, though? I actually haven't cast Self-Preservation on him yet. I'm going to do that now. And he's already got Human Shield off. I'm not going to cast Invincible. That's definitely a thing I'm not going to do. I'm going to cast a Warcry. I'm going to cast a Plan of Attack. Yes, Plan of Attack will go off first, so I can go ahead and use that. Holy shit. That was over 100,000 damage, I think. So Black Hole comes out and insta-gives multiple party members. We've got Sapping Sword up. I'm not sure why that did so much damage to them. I hope that doesn't just ignore... That might just ignore magic defense. We will survive! Oh, no, there's no hope. Ah! We will survive! It will be glorious! Oh my god, we're not even close. Okay, never mind. I was gonna do like the last charge, but no, that's not gonna pay off. So, that black hole hit for a lot of damage, because those two were not really particularly close to dead. And it hit for a lot of damage, but it didn't kill the monk. So that implies to me that that we've got a situation where he's got that probably just ignores magic defense. And if that just ignores magic defense, that's a big problem. But yeah, I think that I need magic defense more than I need the other shit. Then again, does he have anything to reduce? Oh, he doesn't actually have anything to reduce damage. That's probably what it is. It's that this guy's taking half damage. And this guy is too. He has Ancient Armor on. But he does as well. Yeah, his magic defense is only mediocre, though. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Don't think he has any physical attacks we need to worry about. I'm just gonna have him attack. He's a team player. He's gonna use Plan of Attack. Yes. He is going to use Invis Cloak. So Invis Cloak is coming out first. That is a hell of a lot of damage done to Kumonoton. So he's going to cast Self-Preservation. He is going to taunt. He's behind enemy lines. I'm an idiot, and I didn't hamstring on turn 1. So I'm probably boned because I didn't use hamstring on turn 1. That's why I took so much damage. He can fast cure himself. Does he want to, though? I don't think so. He's low enough that the fast cure probably won't save his life. So I think I'm better off just accepting the fact that there's a decent probability that he dies, and moving on with my life. A fast cure would have saved his life. He only took 400 damage. A fast cure would have saved his life. I don't know how he died to that black hole. That black hole should not have killed him, that previous one. There's no way on earth that he had low enough magic defense. The only thing that I can think of is that black hole actually causes the instant death effect. So if black hole causes instant death, then I actually need to have an ancient ring on to give myself immunity to that. I can't do that. He's gonna lose all of his mana. So what does that leave us with? Oh, I guess he can just equip something that gives him immunity. I think his boots. There we go. So we can give him Virgil's boots. That gives him immunity to instant death. So he should be okay now. So, attack. Team player. Do I want to use team player? I think I want to use self-preservation and then follow it up with team player. So, let's see here. He's going to use plan of attack. He's going to use a hamstring. And I'm just going to have to hope that I hit. And I missed. Let's see. Team player. Meat shield, I guess. And do I want to try and hamstring again? I think I have to. Now that I messed it up the first time, we don't have the HP left to play. And there we go. So that hit for a fuck ton of damage on Kamanaten. So, how am I going to survive this? So the new setup. Let me take a look. He still has the Citadel ring. What caused him to take so much damage there? I didn't reduce my magic defense at all. I don't understand why he took 400 last time and he took so much damage this time. Okay, we're going to use self-preservation. We're going to use what? Plan of attack, I guess. And we're going to try a hamstring. And we're going to miss. And then he's going to blow me up. I mean, that's some horse shit. That right there is some horseshit. I had no idea he could even do that. God. These no resist effects that they put on are really nasty. I wish that that was not labeled as a sleep, because it shouldn't be labeled as a sleep. It doesn't get removed when you take damage. And that's what separates a sleep effect from a paralysis effect. So that's a serious issue. I'm actually going to use team player. There's no reason for me to be messing around, pretending that I'm going to be able to survive this first round without using a heal on it. So plan of attack comes out, apocalyptic light comes out, and a heal comes out. There we go. It also increases everybody's max HP except his, so he's going to use that now. He's going to use a taunt. Does he need to? Almost all of the effects that are coming out are single AoE, except for something that really isn't best to be on him anyway. I'm gonna have him use a war cry. And we just used the Invis Cloak. We're going to go ahead and try Hamstring. We succeeded. And he just hit Komanaten for his, I think, exactly his max HP. One of the problems with doing a blind run is that I know for a fact that something weird is going on with Black Hole. There's no way on Earth that that thing is hitting him that hard unless it's either bypassing magic resistance, which I don't think it's doing, or there's something else weird going on with the calculation. I mean, yes, it was a crit. It did exactly his max HP and damage. Okay, I have a suspicion that Black Hole does exactly half your max. Does exactly half your current HP or half your max HP and damage, and that it can crit. That's what I think is happening there. I think my characters are getting crit by this asshole, and it's making me sad. Speaking of which, can his skill crit? Because that would change everything. That would make killing enemies way faster if he could crit with his. Because I can just equip 100 crit on him. And we're just going to find out right now. So we're going to give him the abnormal ring, and he needs to have that spell. Make sure that he's got cosmic pressure. So the question is, can I hit someone with cosmic pressure and have it crit? No, cosmic pressure will not crit. I have a 100% crit chance, so it definitely will not. That was interesting. That is such an interesting effect. Huh. I was expecting him to die, but he didn't. Okay, so I guess there are other monsters that I can go after. Yeah, the problem is that if it is... This guy had, like, ludicrously high magic damage, if I recall correctly. Give him the Citadel Ring. Can try this out. Because he has some super crazy Nuke of Doom. And we're going to use Team Player. We're going to use Plan of Attack and Hamstring. We missed with the Hamstring, so I think we're boned. We're not. Team Player comes out. He's going to use Self-Preservation. He's going to go ahead and use a Human Shield just in case. And I hope... There we go, we got that off. So if he uses that same move again, I'm okay. Firestorm comes out, which is, I think, a little bit stronger. Cast a Citadel. So if Black Hole crits, it instantly kills you. Okay. So that means the only way that I could conceivably kill that boss is if it doesn't crit ever on Black Hole. Or I have everybody immune to crits. So, let's see here. I have him cast Dark Ward, I think. Now, you have Invisibility Cloak active, Hamstring is active. I'm actually going to use a Healing Steel because Commoditon is really, really low on HP, but he has a lot of magic defense. Okay. So Suffocating Darkness comes out and does 1 point of damage to Commoditon. Actually, quick question. Is Black Hole Darkness Element? Because I just realized that Commoditon does not... It just crit. I just saw it happen. It did exactly 100% of Commoditon's max HP and damage. It can crit. If it's not supposed to crit... Oh. No, you're right. Because he used, whatchamacallit. He used self-preservation. But I'm pretty sure that I saw the number, the thing say critical. But maybe critical just doesn't change the damage output of it. At any rate, this increases my HP by, I think, exactly enough with my current setup that it would give me the exact amount of HP that I had as max. Okay, what was I doing? Shit. We have Citadel, we have Self-Preservation. So yeah, because I cast Self-Preservation, that's what did it, because it doesn't heal me up the interim damage. Yeah, 10 crit means that there's a 10% chance of getting crit. Let's see. So he can just cast Juggernaut, actually. He's got enough magic defense that he's actually not going to take damage from this boss right now, so I don't need to worry too much. What was I casting? Juggernaut. Yeah, my max HP was increased by the effect, so I'm guessing that that's probably what happened. But, because he hadn't been hit. It's not like there's a difference between max HP and current HP unless you take damage. But he had used his, whatchamacallit buff, which increases his maximum HP but doesn't increase his current HP to compensate. So, let's see. I'm very concerned about getting blown up because he just buffed himself. I'm going to use a Dark Ward. He already has Dark Ward, right? Yeah, he has Dark Ward already. He has magic defense on him. Hamstring. Okay. So this boss, I think, is going to be reasonably simple. So we should be okay there. Let's see here. Does he want to use Meat Shield? Okay. Let's see, hamstring, zapping sword. Boom. Citadel is wearing off this turn, so now is the time to cast Citadel again. What am I doing? Okay. The Firestorm has to ignore mono magic resistance. Let's see, does everybody have the same amount of damage taken? Yes. So that has to do... That has to ignore magic resistance. God damn it. I just realized that I haven't cast Mystic Concealment on him yet. Whoops. So let's see here. We're gonna cast what? Okay, I need to have more HP because the boss is using something that's ignoring my defense. I don't know what I just cast on him. Hamstring. Okay, that's fine. Soul Leech. Lovely. Well, he's gonna die to that. Luckily, he can die one more time. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to get... He's not gonna get a chance to die one more time because he's gonna die to an AoE or something. I don't think there's any chance that I'm gonna have him survive this. Okay, well that's... surprising. So he did survive for now, and now I need to like just spam cures on him all day long. He's gonna cast a Dark Ward on himself, and I need to heal. I don't think I have a way of surviving this. There are a lot of effects that do magic are based off of your goddamn max HP. And that's just bad fucking design. Because if a party doesn't have a white mage, they can't spam healing on the entire party like that. You need to be able to mitigate effects. If you can't mitigate anything because everything's based off of your max HP, that's a serious problem, mechanically. So, Firestorm presumably is fire damage. The problem is that if it's not being halved as fire damage, so it's probably bypassing the fire damage calculation as well. Well, now I know why I'm having so many problems with these things. The reason that I'm having problems with these things is that my current party doesn't have the healing throughput, and it will never have the healing throughput to actually handle these kinds of attacks because of their nature. I can only heal every 3 rounds. And if the enemy is doing half my max HP every single round, I can't kill it. So I have to rely on RNG because there's no other way for it. Like, if that's actually 50% of max HP minus just magic defense with no modifier on the magic defense, then that's basically just 50% of max HP. Because let's say that I super buff my magic defense and I have 2,000 magic defense. That's not even touching the amount of damage that you're going to take if you have a decent amount of HP. So how am I going to handle... If they just hadn't implemented cooldowns on abilities, or if they had given Grey Mages the ability to actually cast Cure Spells, because they don't have any Cure Spells at this point in the game, then it would be fine. But they implemented cooldowns, which means that I cannot spam heals. So, what am I going to do? If I had 6,000 points on Sordrel, how would I spend them? HP doesn't mean anything. So there's no reason to buff his HP anymore. So, with that said... I need to calculate how much. And this is actually reasonably simple to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to unequip this for now and give him the abnormal ring. So with the abnormal ring, we're going to just record how much damage I do with just a standard attack first. So we're doing about 4,500 to 5,000. So 4,500 to 5,000. Obviously, that's the extreme low end. So it's 4,500 to 5,000. So we're going to just load this up, and now we're going to just pump on the 150 attack power ring. Because this will give us a good idea at the weakest end. I could calculate this, but it's actually more complicated than you'd think. So that is 5 to 6k. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. It's actually 6 to 6.7k. So 6 to 6.7. Okay, so, and then I'm going to try it with neither of them. That was about 4 to 5k. So, increasing the damage done by a full critical threshold did not actually meaningfully increase the damage. So let's see here. Now, I basically need to figure out how much I'm beating this thing's defense by when I get a couple of key buffs out to get an idea of how this is going to operate. We need data. Okay, so we can spend the first turn casting Bloodlust. Team player, is that what I want? Sure, team player. No, we don't want team player because it increases my crit. I'm going to cast Juggernaut. We're going to cast plan of attack. We're not going to do anything that would impact the damage that we're dealing with him. I guess that's silly because I will always have hamstring out. So let's find out how much damage this does. So he's now hitting for like 11 to 12k with very simplistic buffs up. So I don't have that up. I don't have Warcry up. And we don't have hamstring. So we still aren't in perfect form. I'm not looking to figure out what its defense is. I'm just looking to see the kind of damage that I'm doing here. So if I'm hitting for between 14 and 18,000, roughly, then unless I'm completely misjudging the amount of damage crits should be doing, you know what I'm going to do? And I think that I am going to invest into my damage. We are going to check what happens. I should have enough points, and we're pseudo breaking the consumables rule. The horseshoes are coming out. So just like with pretty much any game that gives you the ability to buff up your characters, the lure of these is too strong because I'm not gonna fucking grind until I get enough damage to do what I need to do. The basic gist here is that there's no way for my party to actually survive combat with the enemy. The only way to do so would be to have different abilities than my party has. The introduction of cooldowns has completely fucked over the party balance. There's just no way for the party to do what I need them to do. So we're going to go ahead and save this into slot 2. And we are going to start leveling up. So what I'm going to do here is we are going to pump crit to try and get it as close to 1,000 as possible. Now, we've got 660 crit now. My goal to see here is how much damage does that actually translate into. So with 660 extra crit, I'm only doing like 5k damage. Not terribly impressive. So let's try getting Bloodlust and all of our other good shit going. And see how hard we can hit this thing if I have all my buffs and debuffs going. Did I unequip something very important? These are ultra criticals. Is an ultra critical something that I'm doing with my character already? God, I wish that these systems were a bit more like visible. I don't think I'm getting ultra criticals. These are extreme. So let's increase my crit by as much as we can so that we can try to see what the next tier is. God damn it. I'm now not going to be able to see what the next tier is. Let's try this again. We're going to guard. So this is a hypercritical. So it does keep going. The problem is that I don't know how much damage is actually being added with each, like, crit rank. Because alternatively, if I just dump all the points into attack power, we end up with about 1373 attack power, which translates into an unbuffed damage of what? So then I'm hitting for a pretty good amount unbuffed. One thing that I could do I need to figure out how I'm going to proceed. The big issue that I've run into, and this is sort of a brick wall, is that with enemies using percent-based attacks, it doesn't... I don't get any value out of HP, but I also don't get any value out of defense. There's not a way to mitigate that kind of damage. All you can do is cure through it. But the problem is that I don't have the ability to because I have cooldowns. So no matter how much I invest in any way, shape, or form, I'm never going to be able to survive these attacks. I don't have the mechanisms in place to survive them. Which means that I need to figure out... And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about, like, poor balance. If the only answer to a system is to cure, right? If that's the only thing that you can do is cure through the damage, it heavily biases the game in favor of things like white mages who can cure every single round to like in an AoE, right? A character like Komanaton cannot possibly keep up with the damage, which means that, you know, no matter what his stats are, no matter how powerful he gets, I could have 90,000 hit points, 10,000 defense, and I'd still get killed in 2 rounds, guaranteed, if they use the black hole back-to-back. Right? Back-to-back black hole is a guaranteed kill for my party, unless it happens to happen on the turn that I have the ability to heal on. And that's a problem, because I can only heal every 3 rounds. If it was single target, if these kinds of attacks were single target instead of AoE, then the answer would be to invest in intelligence on Komanaton. Because if you invest in enough intelligence, then you can get his single target heal. You'd have to invest a hell of a lot of points. I'd need several thousand AP worth of points to get him to the point that he's actually healing a decent amount. But it could be done. The problem is that he can only heal single target. He can't heal AoE. So even assuming that I had, say, infinite int, he'd still be unable to keep up more than just himself. He could keep himself up infinitely, but he couldn't keep anyone else up. Or he could keep one person up and nobody else. Now, if Sordrel has enough damage, he can keep himself up infinitely. That's just his nature. He can keep himself up through fucking anything. So I think the blind section of the run ends here. I'm not going to be able to progress any further unless I can look at the math behind what's going on here. Because I need to figure out what attacks I need to deal with, and I have to basically custom build my characters for specific attacks because of the fact that there's... the problem is that I don't even know if I can. I might have to abandon aspects of the run. This run might just become a run of Comoniton and Sordrel soloing the entire game. Or, well, duoing, but basically getting my full party buffs, my permanent duration buffs, up on the entire party, and then having Sordrel and Comoniton, if he's able to survive, beat down the boss, because I could spend this 54... I almost have 5,500 AP. If I spent any amount of this on increasing his magic defense, or I might not even need to, I might be able to just equip shit. I could actually equip shit. I could just give him, whatchamacallit. I don't think it would be enough if I just gave him the 150 extra magic defense, because he would need way more than that to survive with his HP. Maybe. Hard to tell. But I do think that I need to look at some of the math behind the scenes. I need to basically end the blind portion of the run, and I need to see if things are going to be doing attacks that do percentage of max HP. I need to see what restrictions that I've put on myself have to be withheld in order to be able to theoretically be able to deal with the attacks. Right? It's not a matter of levels, it's not a matter of power, it's a matter of sort of arbitrarily strong attacks that they don't care about how strong you are. They don't care about how defensive your characters are. Right? There was nothing that Kali did that would just kill me. 2 black holes in a row will kill me no matter how strong I get. If I'm a level 1,000, it's still going to kill me. So I'm going to end this stream here. I'm going to take a look at what my options are, and we're going to have to figure out how to go from there. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure streaming for you today. And next time we will engage in ultimate math and the true shenanigans will begin. So later, folks.